my defense, I drew a page in Mr. Miracle,
Yes.
which won the Eisner for Best Book of the Year, which means I'm an Eisner-winning artist.
Comic book. Hey, Ashley Victoria Robinson, your video host and producer here in the Popverse, coming to share a brand new video series with you. Well, kind of. Record scratch. I wonder how we got here. Over on our members only part of the Popverse, we have been doing a series called Popversations, where we have only the coolest conversations with only the coolest creators. It's been going on for about a year now, and we are deciding to share some of those from our archives with you. So if you want to see the most recent, the most up-to-date interviews, be sure that you go over there and get yourself a membership. And in the meantime, enjoy the video. Have deep dive conversations with only the coolest creators as we welcome them into the Popverse. I am your host and producer, Ashley Victoria Robinson, and the Popverse is, of course, as you know, a virtual realm created by Read Pop, where we are celebrating the very best in TV, movies, and comics each and every single dang day. If you found us here, you found us at thepopverse.com, where we have so many more videos, articles, lists, everything you can possibly be looking for. Thank you for joining me. Today we are in the Venn diagram of all three of these things. There has been so much news coming out of DC films lately. You have seen this creator across the comic book sphere, in Marvel with Vision, in DC with Batman, NBD, Wonder Woman, Omega Man, so much Omega Man talk, so much Lantern talk, so much love for Kyle Rayner. Please join me in welcoming award-winning writer Tom King. Hi, Tom. Thank you so much for joining me today.
What an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I love talking to you. It's great to be back. I feel like coming home.
Aw, that's so sweet. Okay, I want to ask, how much swag of your projects is within arm's reach of where you're sitting right now?
I mean, you can see back there, there's behind me, there's I have a whole issue of Andy and I's Superman.
Mm-hmm.
That issue 3, the boxing issue. I have some good swag for my stuff. I have a few. I have the cover of Batman #1. That's over there in the corner.
Oh, okay, casual.
But generally I don't. When I collect comics, I don't collect my own stuff, because when I look at my own stuff, I just feel like, oh, I could have done better, and who wants that on their wall? Just a constant reminder of how I could have. As I say that, there's stuff over my shoulder that's on my wall, but generally speaking, I collect old stuff that I have no vested interest in. Were given to me, although I did buy that Andy thing, and I should have. They offered me the whole issue and the cover, and I was like, what do I need that cover for? And now I'm like, oh my God, I believe it.
Should have taken the cover, Tom.
I just.
Are there any like pieces of swag, pieces of art, or collectibles from your work that you would like to see made that we can all go like bully someone into making on your behalf?
Oh yeah, are you kidding? No, I'm terrible at toyeticness. Is that a word? I just
sure.
No, I feel like if you, of all the people, like my friends Scott or Josh, James, they all have lots of toys of the stuff they've done, and no one makes toys of any of mine. You know, you never see a Heroes Crisis toys of Booster Gold crying and his. I don't know. I don't get that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would love to see. I don't know. I invented this superhero that nobody liked called Gotham Girl, but I named her after my daughter Claire.
Tom, I told you at our very first time we met that I love Gotham Girl, so you made her for me.
I love her. Viv Vision is kind of taken off. I'd love a Vision statue. I think that'd be awesome. I have this drives me. Mitch and I have worked together almost for 10 years. We've done everything together. We've done a ton of Batman together. They finally made a Mitch Batman statue, and it was from the one cover he did for Josh Williamson's book.
Sheriff of Baghdad action figures when? Like, that's what I'm asking.
Mitch made me a custom one.
I know. It's so cool. Okay, but just because you evoked Booster Gold, and I love him and he's an idiot, Tom King Booster Gold when?
Whatever they want. Whatever anyone says. Because I love, that's probably the most fun character. Hal Jordan and Booster Gold are the two most characters I had the most fun writing in DC. I cannot And just to be clear, I write Booster wrong. I've talked to Dan.
No such thing. No such thing.
I apologize to him. Dan writes him much more heroically, sort of the underdog hero, which I think is very cool. And Dan invented Booster and deserves that. I write the Booster that's from the cartoon, from the Justice League Unlimited and Justice League Action cartoon, who is also a hero, but is also a little more buffoonery, and also is sort of constantly always has the best intentions and kind of trips over his own. Yeah, I write the cartoon Booster, not the comic book Booster. So also,
I mean, none of us should hold ourselves to Dan Jurgens as a metric, because none of us will ever be as prolific or as good as Dan Jurgens. So
yeah, I know. Dan throws it down. He always tells me, he's like, I'll be like, oh man, this comic did really well. He's like, I sold 4.5 million Superman Tom. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, and he's like, and I did all of it myself, by the way. So you're known for your prolific collaborations with comic book artists. We've named a bunch of them here. You seem to be super, super friendly with all of them. So what do you think it is about you as a writer that brings out their best side as a comic book artist? Tell me why you're so great, Tom.
Mitch's best side, since Josh Williamson brought out the statue. I don't. I mean, I don't think there's any secret. Yes, I mean, I run the gauntlet. There's, I worked on Omega with Barnaby Bagenda. I've never seen him, never talked to him in person. We haven't even emailed each other because he's an agent. And then like I work with Mitch all the time, and we're like best friends and talk to each other every day. So it runs the gauntlet. I write scripts where I give the artist freedom. I think the key to the whole thing, if I had to nail one thing, is that most writers who come into comics come in as artists. That seems counterintuitive, but it's true. If you look back, like even Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, Scott Snyder, these guys started as artists, and then sort of flipped over. Jim Starlin, the list goes on and on. If anyone knows me, they know I have no ability to draw anything at all, like zero. I do not understand. It's a superpower to me. When I look at what they do, I might as well be like, how does Professor X read minds? I do not understand anything about that art form. And I think maybe because of that, I never get in their way or presume I know better than them. And I kind of just let them do their thing, because to me, they're doing something incomprehensible. And I'm never like, oh, don't use that angle, or no, that's a bad angle. I was just like, man. They're like, Tom, how do you want this? I was like, dude, just do your thing. Do your thing.
I think I have a signed Tom King Batman that has a Tom King Batman sketch on it, and it's a stick figure with some pointy ears, which is about my level of art, so it's not a drag.
In my defense, I drew a page in Mr. Miracle, which won the Eisner for Best Book of the Year, which means I'm an Eisner-winning artist.
Comic book artist. Wow.
You should. My resume. You can't deny it. Now,
I'm putting that on your lower third. Like, that's your credit.
That's my first thing on my obituary.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing else. Wait, I want to talk to you about Lanterns, because all these casting announcements have been breaking everybody's brain wide open. Everyone's been so psyched to see it coming together. So who is your favorite Green Lantern not from Earth?
Oh, God, yes.
Because there's so many on Earth.
I don't know, Mogo, I really like. Planet. Cool.
I love that Mogo is the first one that you went to. That really delights me to absolutely. Absolutely.
Like me, both of us have trouble socializing, so I appreciate it.
Tom, stop. Okay, so if I were the queen of WB and I was going to give you a spin-off series of Lanterns, because I just think you need some more work, frankly, which core would you pick that's not the Green Lantern to tell a television story around?
What do you mean, which core? Like which?
Well, which color? Like what? Some of them. Some of them are not color cores. Like however you want to interpret that. I'm the queen of WB. I don't know anything.
Well, I mean, there's different ways you could do like I don't know. Like I when I was a kid, I loved Dark Stars. I love the Travis on. So I always thought there was like something cool in those guys. Like who are the other cops who aren't Green Lanterns?
Yeah.
If you're talking like a whole core of Dark Stars, would be fun.
That would be fun. Okay, now everyone's got to look out for the Dark Star Easter eggs.
For Omega Men, obviously I did the Omega Men, which is a book I love. So there's that too.
I love Omega Men because of the Kyle Rayner-ness of it all. So that's what I'm holding out for in the show.
Kyle is my boy. I love him to death.
He's the best. He's also the sexiest Green Lantern. That's my hot take on Kyle Rayner. But with things like Omega,
somewhere out there, Hal just started crying. I can feel fictional Hal just bursting into tears as him not being the hottest Green Lantern.
Before he was Kyle Chandler, there was absolutely no contest, and now that he is Kyle Chandler, he might give Kyle a run for his money. But Kyle is the sexiest Green Lantern. All the 90s kids, Dick Grayson, like all those 90s legacy heroes who stepped up and took on the mantle, Wally West, they're all very hot. I don't know why, but they are. It's just the rule. So with Omega Men, and we talked about Vision and Mr. Miracle, like you have made this amazing comics legacy, taking these lesser known characters and really giving them their own spotlight and telling definitive stories for them, which is so amazing. How do you do that, Tom? How do you get into these POVs and figure out what's interesting enough to fill 12 issues?
I mean, the first thing I start with is sort of what the original intention was with all the characters. I go back to, what made them cool, what made them pop. And then, for lack of a better word, I treat them like humans. Like, I don't think anyone is uninteresting. I think everyone has a story to tell. That's in life and in fiction. So I look at them like, what's your interesting story to tell? And I have them tell that story. I don't know. I don't think there's one character who doesn't have. I mean, if you're like the most boring character in DC, I don't know who that'd be, like General Glory or something, Brother Power the Geek. It might be any one of the characters that are in a Danger Street. I mean,
yeah.
But how bizarre is that story to be the most boring person? I want to hear that story, that you're the most boring person. I want to hear how you got that title. And let's say you're the second most boring. How sad of you to have lost the most boring title. That must be a thing. I want to hear that story. See, I just listen to them. That's the best way to put it, I guess.
I feel like you're pitching a very strange crossover reboot also with Young Heroes in Love, who are all these sort of strange secondary characters and got this really neat development in the real world style setting.
Oh my God. I would write a real world comic in a second.
Set in the early aughts?
Of course.
We're flushing this pitch out right now. I'm interested in this.
Do it. I'm ready.
How many people are there? Are we eliminating people? Who's going home?
Living in a house.
In what city? In a real city or in a DC city?
Oh, probably, yeah. We'd have to do it in a DC city, right? Because we do it in some central city or something boring where they don't even visit, and so just
for fun. There, that's the headline. That's the breakout. That's gonna. Tom King says Central City is boring. The most controversial thing you've ever said.
I apologize to all the Central City Denzians.
I know all the Flash people are coming for you, so watch your Blue Sky or wherever it is that we're all congregating these days. But to get a little more serious, a little more writerly, for anybody who doesn't understand, what is the difference between writing comics and writing television? They're both collaborative. As the lead writer on these projects, you have what it seems to be a lot of say on both. So what's the difference? What do we like more about one versus the other?
I mean, it's a huge question. I mean, there's some basic difference in that, this is not 100% true, but basically television and movies is a much more structured environment in terms of like every script has to kind of look a certain way and expect it to be a certain way. Whereas in comics, every script is just a letter you're writing to your artist. So that's just in terms of writing, it's a different kind of formatting and a different kind of. I mean, you're in final draft, John Word, and that's very technical. But just since that's a day by day problem.
We love final draft; it works perfect every time. What are you talking about?
I mean, there's lots of big differences between the two. I mean, in comics, when you think about budget in comics, what you're thinking about is how much your artist can spend time with their family, which is not people say there's no budget in comics. Yes, there is. If you're like, hey, please draw a huge crowd of people, and they're all on horses, and they're all shooting each other, and plus there's superheroes fighting. Then your artist gets that and is like, great, I can't spend Christmas with my family this year. It's like you never want it. You have to. That's a calculation. But of course, in writing TV, your budget, you're constantly sort of thinking about your budget and sort of what you can do and what you can't do. Comics is a much more, and I think this is what gives it its power, and the reason it'll always be sort of the heart of creativity for America, is it's a much more spontaneous medium. It's much more akin to something like vaudeville or improv. There's less barriers and gateway between the id you're creating and the audience that's reading it. Whereas in TV and movies, you're dealing with a bajillion gates you got to cross before the audience sees it, which can be both a good thing and a bad thing. So yeah, all of that stuff, which I'm constantly balancing. And if you ask me which I like better, I like comics better. Comics are more fun.
Comics are more fun? Ooh. I want to get into that, but I feel like that's a whole other conversation. So I'm going to ask you this instead, Tom. How is your relationship to writing and the process of writing change? Like, how was it different on Sheriff of Babylon versus Grayson versus Lanterns, Supergirl, all the quote unquote big budget stuff?
It hasn't changed at all. I don't know. I still write a script a week. I still start on Monday and end on Friday. How
many cups of coffee do you drink in a day?
Soda. I still sit at the dinner table with I guess my kids are a lot older, so they're more cynical about what I write instead of idealistic like they were when they were younger. I still, Jason Aaron said this once, and it's so true. Like a comic book writer's life is never, every waking moment you're thinking of an idea, because there's another script coming, there's another story coming. I mean, that's a big difference between movies and TVs. TV, you'll write 3 episodes every 2 years, one movie every 3 years, which is essentially one story. A comic book writer has to do a story a week.
Yeah.
So you're doing 40 to 50 stories. Which is insane. People in Hollywood are just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And they're like, yeah, that's how we live our lives. Like,
yeah, strapped to the desk.
That's why it's fun. You have an idea. You're like, I have this idea. You call your, I have this. All right, great, because you have to start it on Monday and it's Friday. So, yeah, good. And then you write it and it's done. I haven't changed all that. I mean, I guess my approaches to some things have changed. My style, when I first started out, I was very, very much an Alan Moore clone. We keep bringing up Omega Men. When I was writing Omega Men, my joke,
because it's great.
Cool Omega's the Omega Men. But and I was more into, so, and then as I've grown, I've kind of taken more of my influences and packed them in there and taken some out. Hopefully as you grow, you kind of, when you're starting out, you're pretending to be people. My dialogue was very stolen from Bendis, and I kind of got rid of that. Not because Bendis' dialogue is perfect, but I just was using it as a crutch. And so yeah, you develop your own style, your own confidence, and you keep challenging yourself. I don't know. I have no idea. Hopefully I've grown. Hopefully I haven't.
Which of the characters that you've written do you have the most kinship with? Is it, I'm going to go back to Dick Grayson. Is it someone from Love Everlasting? Like, who do you feel like you relate to the most?
Oh my God. I don't know. When I'm writing,
I'm fishing for a specific answer here, Tom.
Oh,
let's see if we're psychically bonded.
We're psychically bonded. I don't know. They're all me. I mean, every single one of them is. I'm inside their brains when I'm writing them. Human Target was who I want to be, but I'm definitely not. And then I wrote this series called Gotham City Year One. Sort of this very torn down interior voice, which I really enjoyed writing. I don't know, who's most me in all of my books? That's a great question. Is there some? Here,
we'll go take 2. We'll work on our psychic bond a little bit. Tom, tell me how you feel about Orion.
Orion? You got it.
Yeah.
That's who you think I am?
No, you around the
Miracle scot-free? Oh yeah.
Around the time of Mr. Miracle, you talked a lot about how you like identified with Orion and how much you liked Orion. So I was like, let's get into New Gods talk. Tell me about Orion.
I'm happy to talk about Orion. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm scot-free. If you're asking me which character I most identify with,
I am. I'm teasing.
I was Scott. I don't know.
The intro to the Mr. Miracle collections that you wrote, I think is one of the most personal things I've ever read from you, and like talking about your love of Scott Free in the process of like working on that book. So it was really beautiful.
I just got the absolute version, and my intro was in there, and I started reading it. And I was like, oh no, I'm not reading this. I closed the book.
Oh yeah, it was like reading a diary.
I was too close to the bone. I was like, I feel like I'm out there. Yeah, I'm still contemplating which hero I feel. When I first started writing, I only wrote these kind of building romans, these kind of books that were just about me, but in different they were about like my experience in Iraq or whatever. And I got so bored of writing my own voice, writing myself in the book, that I'd never finish anything. It was only when I started pretending to be other people that I started to think that my writing was interesting. When there's a great writing trick people use where it's like, if you don't have a voice for your first novel, because you're supposed to use something in a voice, invent a person who's telling you that story. Just like an old man you open a closet, there's a really old man in there, and he starts talking. What does he say? And so I use that trick. And then I started writing better, because I was making my thoughts are horribly boring. I live with my thoughts 24 hours a day. I'm insanely bored by them. But when I was doing someone else's thoughts, when I was doing Grayson's thoughts or Batman's thoughts, or Chris's thoughts in Sheriff of Babylon, then I could go. But then you write that, and then you walk away from it. You come back years later and you realize, oh, they're all me. They're all whatever I was. Like, the farther you get from it, the more you just come back to it. Writing is a contradiction.
That's very Arthur Conan Doyle of you to be like, I've invented several many Watsons to help me tell my Sherlock Holmes stories.
Well, I mean, obviously Supergirl is a Watson story, and so it's
very, very much so. Yeah.
So I've stolen from some Arthur Conan Doyle.
I mean, haven't we all? There's a reason why. There's a reason why he's Arthur Conan Doyle. Are there any projects that you didn't get a chance to continue that you would love to still be working on?
All of them? I don't know.
Hey, you want to write 55 scripts a week?
No, if someone's like Gabriel Walta wants to do, Vision 2, in a second I would do it. If Bilkis and I could do more Supergirl, I would do it.
Yeah.
There are a few projects I finished where I was like, man, I'm glad to walk away. I don't want to talk to these people anymore. I mean, sometimes I'm like, this is good, and I don't think I could do better. And so that's a reason to walk away. But never was I. I mean, there was a time where I was like, man, because I've written more Batman, I think, than anyone alive, or I'm on at least the short list. So I was like, man, I think I've done every corner of Batman. But then I think of something new, and I'm like, oh no, there's another Batman story I want to tell. So
I love that.
All of them.
I love that you can just mine little things and be like, oh yeah, that would still be interesting to me. I guess that's why we still have comics 100 years later, is we're like, what if we talked about the Purple Glove some more?
The last Batman story I wrote for my run was this Annual 4 with Jorge Fornes, which was one of my favorite issues. And in it, I decided just to tell every Batman story I could in one sort of annual. And so we told 7 stories in 7 different genres, one for like each day of the week. And then Mike Norton did this backup where we kept telling more stories to be like, there are infinite stories. Here are all the stories we could have told. It was sort of this commentary on, like, even though we've done so much, we're only scratching at the sort of the never-ending storytelling potential of this character.
So what I'm hearing, DC, is that Tom King needs a weekly where every week it's a new Batman story until he runs out of ideas.
That's what I have. I have that. Don't worry. I have plenty to write, and DC would love if I just was weekly all the time.
Oh, I'm sure they absolutely would, and you'd be like, "This is great. I'm having the best time of my entire life."
No, I'd love to do one of those like back in the day in Marvel, they used to do those 2-in-1 books where you just write a different story and just like Thing teams up with whoever, and then you do your best whoever story. I think that would be amazing.
Okay, so Marvel, we need a weekly Tom King comic where it's a 2-in-1.
Nobody.
We'll get you one at Marvel, we'll get you one at DC, and then we'll move forward from there. Maybe Image is next. Boom. Who could possibly say?
So many sad stories.
Yeah, exactly. Tom, we've come to the end. I have pestered and teased you about
terrible answers. I feel terrible.
No,
I hedged and hawed on. I should be more confident in what I'm doing. I feel bad, Ashley.
Well, you should always be confident because you're a beautiful, sexy, amazing person. But I'm going to end with the question that I always end with. I'm interested because I think I've maybe asked you this question the most. So let's see if there's a through line or if we're going to get a different answer.
I get a different answer.
Tom, what are you geeking out about that you're not working on?
Oh man, I'm geeking about some. I just watched the Super/Man documentary on.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I was just it hit me in all the hearts. So I just highly recommend that. There's a moment where Reeves wants to kill himself, and his wife says like one sentence to him, and he's like, if she had even hesitated with one of the ways she phrased the word, I would have been dead that night. And she says, "You're still you, and we love you." That's all she says, and it keeps him alive for whatever 20 more years. So yeah, I was geeking out on that. I watched that yesterday and came to the dinner table and just described every scene to my family. So I recommend it.
You recommend everybody weeping into their cereal? No, it's just really great. I cried through like the entire thing, basically. Tom, thank you so much for joining me in the Popverse once again. Let's do it again next year, huh?
Anytime. I love it.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom. I don't know about you, but I am even more excited for everything that I know about lanterns than I was ever before. It was such a treat to get to talk to Tom and get to geek out with him about, like, honestly, just all of the coolest characters that he has gotten to work on. I'm so excited to see his work continue to be translated onto the big screen as DC Films evolves and blooms and grows in front of us. Be sure you're visiting thepopverse.com, where we are celebrating the very best in TV, movies, and comics each and every single ding dang day. We're going to have so many more incredible Popversations in the future. We have so many cons to look forward to next year. Make sure that you're staying a member. Click the subscribe button on YouTube. Click the little bell so you get all the notifications every time something incredible goes up there. I have been Ashley Victoria Robinson, your video host and producer here in the Popverse, and I will see you next time.